I jumped on, and what got me, it's a combination of information, finding information, putting it in the right hands at the right time, and then leveraging AI as a tool to get that done. I spent half a decade at Amazon. I left there in 2024. And while I was there, my feather in my cap was I built the highest rated employee training program in Amazon global history. And the things that I learned there, I didn't do it all myself. I had a lot of help, but I organized, I orchestrated. I am a PMP by certification and product manager. And anyway, all those acronyms and words out there, but I had a lot of help. I
Yeah.
organized, it was the hub, but it took me about, I don't know, I think I counted up one time 100 people that I worked with. And in a period of 10 months, we ended up saving Amazon $152 million a year just by improving their employee base. It's a big number, but it's Amazon. That was just one number, James, from taking attrition down because the employees had no information. They had no idea how to perform the job. We called it throwing them in the deep end of the pool and
Mm,
expecting them to come out with a solution on
mm,
their own. So
mm,
I was tapped on the shoulder. I actually wasn't the first choice, but I was the only one that said I'm going to stick my head up and work this because everybody else was afraid of failure. But I lined up the people and from the ground up, grassroots, in a very agile manner, built from scratch an employee training program that onboarded a total of another 35,000 people in about 10 months. And what I learned from that is that it took a lot of people, it took a lot of technology to put the information in the hands of those people at the right time. And you ask about how I got introduced to AI. From my background with the internet, I mean, right now, today is like 1992 for me.
yeah.
The internet really didn't come to fruition until 2006 when cell phones started having internet connection. It's the quality has to be there, otherwise speed doesn't matter. And the way
Hmm.
we address this is, and of course, you know, there's those of us in the know that, and those of us in the wild, the people in the wild, the consumers that are using ChatGPT, they come up with these. We call them hallucinations for a while, right? It's not giving the right answer. It's giving an answer that's rewarded.
Hmm.
But the way we address that is we compartmentalize and we segment the knowledge that we're drawing from. So we put guardrails on our AI, on our LLMs, to talk specifically to a small chunk of information. And what we do there, we reduce the chance for error and we increase the quality of the response. And when you have a much smaller knowledge base to draw from, your latency stays low and the meaning of the conversation, whatever the conversation is, we address things like employee onboarding and teaching people how to diagnose motor and motor control faults or you know, the white collar jobs as well. But whatever the question is, it sounds like it's a human interacting with another human.
Yeah.
And there was an interesting statistic, or I don't know if it's a statistic, it's some numbers that were out there back when IBM was huge, right? You know, a
Mm,
couple decades ago in AI, and they had Big Blue taking on Gary Kasparov in chess. We're going to talk to somebody, and our invisible friend from childhood now has an audio track.
yeah.
We can converse, and the people that I talk with, James, that leverage the tools, they're either all in
Mm,
or they're not in at all. They're still kind of peeking over the fence. But the when we have Chat GPT or you know any of them in a voice interface, we're still using an app, we're still using the internet, we're still using Wi-Fi, all of that. There's simplicity, and adding an app, adding the internet, adding Wi-Fi, those are all barriers. Albeit the
yeah.
barriers are smaller today than they were 20 years ago, but they
Yeah.
are barriers. If I'm going to start up my phone, let me log in, Wi-Fi, am I doing VPN, and you know the layers of ad blocking that we have or we don't have. But the simplicity in business or adoptions. It's not just business, it's adoption. Google, the Google page today is still, right, a single line. It's so simple. You type in something and you hit go. And that's Google, one of the biggest companies in the world. Amazon was an also ran company, and they were just another online store. And they had no better outlook than any other company back then. But Jeff Bezos told his development team, hey, I want simplicity of one click purchase. And they went back and forth. The first barrier, developers laughed and said, yeah, no, serious. What are we talking about here? Anyway, they got it down to one click. And it's that one click simplicity that gave the adoption for humans to come in here, whether they're technically literate or illiterate. One click made it simple for everybody. And now I think the last time I checked, on at least US numbers, has 57% of all consumer retail sales, 57% through one domain. Because
I don't
of
think
that
it'll be far
simplicity.
off.
We used to say one size fits all, but today it's one size fits one. And that's a realm on teaching as well as the neurodiverse community and the HR realm. So yeah, it's scalable. So we could have 100 people in their own conversations, but it's a one-on-one conversation. So you don't have that split up of, let's say if you're onboarding the old way with one person training 10 people, they only get to spend 1 out of every 10 minutes with that one person. And if half of that's exchange, and that's only 30 seconds, each person gets every 10 minutes to converse with the trainer. With our system, it's a telephone call. It's got your Bluetooth headset on. You get to have your hands and either with a wrench and turning tools, or at a computer, or opening books and walking down halls. And you can talk to somebody like a human. So it's scalable, Yoshi, but it is one-to-one, because that's the way that people learn best. If it's a frontline worker, it would give them the information that they need for that job. If you turn back your Wayback Machine, Henry Ford was actually on trial one time, and he was being peppered by an attorney for a newspaper that said, you don't know anything. What's the answer to this? What's the answer to that? What's the answer to something else? And he came back and said, you know what? I don't need to know the answers to all those things. But if I wanted to know, I have silver buttons across my desk. I just press a button and I'm connected with somebody that has that answer. So that's what we're doing today with our practical AI and our product Pocket Mentor. It's given that frontline worker the information they need at that specific point in time. They don't need to memorize everything. They only need the information for the time that they're using it, and then they can forget it and access it again later.